What's up, gang? It's Monday again. I hope everybody had a great Mother's Day yesterday. We did. Mom had a good time. All the moms had a good time over there. We had way too much food. Props to my cousin, Tracy. She just cooks way too much, and everything she makes is just amazing. I get a whole tray of hamburgers to myself. I like mine pissed. I don't like them cooked a lot, just pissed, right? So, yeah. All good stuff. We're gonna jump right into some trains this morning, right? You've never seen that before, have you? Uh-oh. Look at that. As if by cue, one's coming up the hill. At the Coive. You know how much we like the curve. Yeah, sorry we missed the Pennsylvanian going down the hill this morning. I woke up at 9 o'clock. Excuse me. And I'm still tired. But I will wake up sooner than later, I'm sure. bit of a sore throat going on this morning. That's not normal. Oh, but the coffee is good. It's long empty. Or if we can find an empty going up the curve this morning to drive. That's fun one. Oh, we played that last. Oh, that's right. We went down the hill, didn't we? Well, let's see here. I like some trees. I would like some trees. Let's go back. I've been seeing a lot out of some CSS, some good stuff out of CSS. One YM2, Yeller Nose 2, on the grade, down the hill. I'd rather go up the hill, quite honestly. Let's get something here in the middle of the morning. Again, that's the same thing. That's down the hill. The other coming. That's down the hill. Oh, we haven't tried this one. They're all saying the same thing. We haven't tried this one though. Let's try it. Have some weather clear. I would like it. I like a train going by. Okay. Let's give it a try, shall we? That's much better than Thomas, I will have to say. I like that much better than Thomas. Yeah. Well, we are going to be going down the hill. It's still pretty. Oh, wait a minute. Let's make sure we've got this thing turned on. might just be that heavy. Yep. It is just that heavy. Hey, bud. Oh. Oh, yeah, man. Get down. And boogie. Ambiance. So how did Mother's Day work out for you there, man? Work out good? Hope. Everything good? Can't look at that. I end up with the whole Night at Roxbury thing. Oh, ouch. Oh yeah, where's that? Oh wow, okay. Yeah, that can add up for a fact. Just when you thought it was going to be another easy weekend. I say we had a good time. Just it makes it sound like a bad thing. Way too much food, which is never a bad thing. But oh my god. Right on, right on. Yeah, it was gorgeous out. I spent the most of my time was spent out on her front porch. She has a really nice front porch too. And oh yeah, the weather was gorgeous. She grilled, she makes these baby meatloafs, and we call them burgers. She cooks mine just how I like them, barely. She gives them a cross look. She slaps them around a little bit, pisses them off. The rest of the people, they get their brown burgers. That's good to have a good DJ in there. The last wedding I went to was for good old friends, sister's daughter. Yeah, she's a friend of mine too. So anyway, a friend of mine's daughter. And it had a good DJ as well, and it would have been indoor outdoor, and it kind of was, but it was cold out. So it was more indoor than outdoor, but it had a great venue for it. But yeah, when you luck out on the weather like that, oh my god. And out of my two weddings, the first one was perfect. It was June 2nd, so it was beautiful. The second one was January 3rd, January 23rd. It was in January. And we had a monster snowstorm that day, dropped like 13 inches on us. So made it kind of interesting, to say the least. The venue where I had the reception at, the parking lot was on a hill, and the limo driver, who looked suspiciously like Kenny Rogers, told us there was no way he was taking the limo in there. He'd never get it back out again. So he dropped us off on the street, and we had to walk down the snow hill into the place. Strangely enough, I was able to drive my 200 SX out of there, with a tiny rear-wheel drive car, right on up the hill and out. A good friend of mine from Denver, he drove in a Jeep with, well, he lives there now. Back then he was still living here. He had his Jeep 35s on it. He spent most of the night pulling people out of the parking lot. I heard a train. A Red Book at midnight. Isn't the ammo for that thing like almost prohibitively expensive? Like the 300? Oh yeah, I'll bet. I think I've got one. I don't know if I found it somewhere or if I got it doing something weird, but I think I've got one. Yeah. But I haven't used it. I think I've got some ammo for it, but I haven't bought any for it. I almost thought about building a short barrel DDM for applications like that. Something where I can use the same ammo. Oh man, really? Wow. Hey, wow. Yeah, that's a little pricey. It's like saying the oceans are kind of moist. It is, huh? But I have this odd feeling, okay, odd feeling, it's a certainty that, and you know, I don't know if I've ever actually finished the task down in the trenches. Sounds good. I don't think I've actually finished that task in the trenches. And when I do, if it comes up again, like, hey, you want to do it again, I don't really think it's one that I'll be running towards. I don't know. Might just be me. It's like, hey, you know what? We've got nothing else to do. Let's go take the hotel at Sapphire just for shits. You know. Really? I might want to see that myself. If you've got a link for it, throw it into my Discord. I wouldn't mind watching that. At night? I wonder if that's done again on purpose, or if they just happen to do it at night, kind of thing. I mean, there's been some places I've found that running at night can almost be easier, like Nerith can almost be easier at night because you're able to sneak up if you're using night vision and IR. You can sneak right through there and they won't see you. You take your time and creep and crawl. Because, yeah, during the day, popping their heads up, they can see you coming from a long way off. That's what did me in the first time and the second time. Whereas I'd imagine if you go in at night, you can creep right up to the ditch. Once you're in the trench, it's easier than, when you're approaching it, it seems to me. Cool. Appreciate it. Thanks. Have fun. The old coffee routine, huh? Cheers, y'all. Thank you, sir. Oh, yeah. That's some good stuff right there. I'm telling you what, it is yummy. Oh, yeah. Get some atmosphere in yum. You see, I did a little escaping on the old facial follicles here. I've always worn a beard since high school. Never a big beard. I've never been a big beard kind of guy. Oh, that was the helpers running back down the hill. Missed it. I actually kind of like the looks of the yellow nose too, with the gray. Kind of like the looks of that locomotive. What am I following with here? Is that an SD40 running second? Is it not one of them? That's as far as it'll let. That's weird. stuff to play on in their backyard. This guy's got a track hoe. I guess the kids like to play on those. He's putting in a pool. Awful big track hoe for putting in a pool. What you think? Little engineer. There's room. We're at the top of the hill. Watch that. Come back here. One more turn. Cool. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thank you for dropping that in there. I appreciate it. Did you put in the DMs or just in the general?
Hang on. Getting an echo. It's in the general.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Yeah, if you're in the Discord, mute the stream or that.
Yeah, that's what I just did. I forgot about it. I'm like, well, why am I hearing this?
Takes you back to the old days. I remember, oh God, I shouldn't even mention it. Went to a group job interview kind of thing. They were opening up this new pizza joint in town, and I mean, there were over 100 kids there. We were all, I think at that time, juniors in high school, who applied for all the jobs to run this place. And all of the neon was brand new, so it was still flickering and having the wavy lines go through it and everything. And of course, we thought it was the best time to have Uncle Sid visiting, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We're sitting around, wow, look at all the lights. We all got the job. I mean, there was probably 75 gals and 40 guys. I was the last guy still there after 18 months. It was a great place to work. It was called Panteras. Believe it or not, the guy, Bob Walker, that owned the joint, had 2 Panteras. Had a yellow one and an orange one. And he'd show up in either one of them from time to time. But it was a fun place to work. It really was. At that time, I didn't really mind so much coming home smelling like pizza. I was there long enough to go through 3 different cars at that job. When I started there, I was driving my 63 Galaxy, and then started driving the 71 Comet, and totaled it in a head-on on my way to work one night, and finished up in a 73 Roadrunner. That's it.
Wow.
Oh. But yeah, that was a fun place to work. Bob threw some parties for his employees that were epic in nature. The parties would normally last around like 36 hours, and he would do that on purpose so that all of his employees could make it no matter their work schedule. And he had a house up on the north side of town that was just rambling, palatial kind of joint. And everything was included. I mean, everything was included. It'd be like 4 or 5 rooms in his head with brewmeisters. Remember those portable keg cooler things?
Oh, yeah.
So there'd be a tap in every room, There's still a couple of those around town. I know of at least 2 of them. And that was back in 1979, 1980.
Seems like, it's ringing a bell to me. Because I remember.
Yeah, I don't know if they were just a local thing or if they ever spread out. I know they didn't franchise. He owned, at the time, I think there were 4 of them in town. And like I say, after he left the company, I don't know if he sold it or what, but there were 5 or 6, and then they eventually started dropping off until, like I say, now there's 2 of them. And they were
they
like
got a television series called Brewmasters.
called the Who Witch?
The Brewmasters? Is that what you were talking about? The Brewmasters?
Brewmeister. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, maybe you said that. I hit.
Yeah, I don't know. I might have said Brewmaster. It was a basically like a dorm fridge that would fit a half barrel inside of it, and it had a tap mounted on top of it. So basically, you had a CO2 tank next to it, and you plugged it in. It kept keg cold, and there was a tap on top of it. So you didn't have to have one of them big ass plastic buckets that we used to hand out with the quarter barrels and half barrels to fill up with ice.
I was trying to look it up. Not coming up.
I wonder. I think that was probably a generic name for it.
Yeah, I remember that.
There we are. Beermeister is what I'm finding a picture of it. Beermeister Triple Tower, $1,599. I think we've got one of those at the post. It's a premium series beer dispenser.
See, I'm trying to look it up. I just keep getting results for Meistery.
Try separate words. I put in Brewmeister in one word, but then it came up as Beermeister, 2 different words.
Yeah, I found the Meister for Amazon. Jesus Christ. Is that what you're talking about? $2,249?
Yeah, I found one for $1,599. Yeah.
I had a friend drilled a hole in an old refrigerator.
There you go.
Put the tap, insulated, put the tap on the outside,
Mm-hmm.
on the side of it. Not the
I've seen
door,
those.
because
Yeah.
unless you can get something, yeah, it'd be hard. It'd be nice to have like a valve where you can open the door.
Well, you can. You just put a
the
hose
valve would shut.
inside.
Oh, it's long enough, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them done in the door, but yeah, the side makes more sense. If it, fits where you placed it. But yeah, I remember people doing that too. In the old style refrigerators, those single doors.
Yep. Oh, even a little small fridge, like small fridges, if you can get one that's real.
Yeah.
Not that efficiency crap where there's no refrigerant involved. Those things don't do
Yeah.
for shit.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna
had
say.
one and got rid of it.
I had 2 of those that I had gotten from, I think they were from Marlboro. Yeah, they were from Marlboro. It was a 12-volt cooler with, a Peltier junction built into it. Peltier, French. But, and one of them I traded for an RC airplane. And the other one I gave to my friend. He was still driving OTR at the time, and he used it as a fridge in the sleeper of his truck.
Well, those ones I'm talking about, are they the same concept? Remember the old choke? You had a, we had to put it on an air hose. You could make it cold. I mean, it would almost frost the choke spring and everything else because what it did, it restricted it down. Somehow it coiled the air and it cooled it. And you know if it was the same concept, if that was what that was ran
no,
on?
not really. The Peltier junction is a solid state junction that when you pass current through it, you have two sides to it. One side gets hot, the other side gets cold. And if you reverse the polarity of it, it reverses which side gets hot and which side gets cold. The thing that's really kind of cool about them is you can put heat to one side and it'll induce a current through it. And so what people have done with them, you've probably seen where people have a small fan on top of wood-burning stove.
Yeah.
And there's no cord going to it and there's no battery going to it. The base of that fan that sits on the top of the stove has a Peltier junction in it, and when it heats up, it induces a current into a small electric motor to turn the fan. And you just use it to circulate heat off the top of the stove. Now, it's not going to blow like a powered fan would if you put a bunch of power to it, but it's enough to move the air around. That's why you find those coolers, and it'll have a switch on it. One switch is cool. It normally will cool the inside like 30 degrees below ambient. So if it's 40 degrees outside, if it's 60 degrees outside, it'll freeze inside. You know what I mean? If you flip it over to the heat side, it'll actually heat up the inside of the cooler to like 45 or 50 degrees above ambient. You can use it for keeping sandwiches warm and stuff like that. And a lot of them just, had a cigarette lighter adapter, and you plug it in and it would power it. It might take it a while to cool things off, but it would keep things cool,
Right. I was remembering that I used to have one. I don't think I know I don't have anymore. Matter of fact, I think it was a job tool.
It
But back when
sounds
we
familiar.
did carburation, with the choke plates, when we had the old spring, you would put it one direction and it would blow cold, and you literally could like damn near freeze the coil on the choke. To simulate. So when you were setting the chokes for cold, you would do that, and the oil spring would go down and be
Was
cold.
it all
and you
air,
could adjust it.
or did it have electric?
Yeah, it was just hooked up. It hooked up to the shop air.
That's wild.
It was cold. And then I think the one way you could heat it, you would heat it. So there was something, I don't know.
Well,
I could see restricting the air down and making it cold, making it hot. I don't know how you make friction.
Yeah, I was
That'd be
going to
something.
say the hot side I'm not sure of. The cool side I can imagine, but you're basically using compressed air as your refrigerant. If you drop it through an orifice, just like in an AC system, it's going to cool off through evaporative cooling. Almost like a swamp cooler, just using the relative humidity of the air. But heating, now that'd be wild. I'd like to see how it did that too.
But yeah, I remember using those all the time.
Huh.
Sit there and we'd got the choke.
Now, I mean, you could do it almost like a can of air. When you buy dusters, the cans of air,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
they cool because it won't just be air that's compressed inside there. They'll have CO2 in it, which cools, or butane, which cools. How you spray it and the can gets frosty
Right.
just from that.
Yeah, I used to use those cans for spray painting. Pain in the ass. Put them in warm water
Yeah.
so they wouldn't freeze, because they would freeze up.
Oh yeah.
Start splattering paint, you know. But yeah, the choke things up brings back memories. I remember chilling that down, then you'd apply vacuum to the diaphragm, and then set your choke gap. You know,
I was gonna say you'd have to do it cold. I mean, back in the old day when
yeah,
the coil was built into a sinker on the intake. You know, if it was a manual, not a manual choke, a heat choke rather than an electric choke.
yeah. Basically, the ones I remember that were right on the side of the carburetor, they screwed in,
Mm-hmm.
had a linkage to it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think how did it draw?
Most of the time they put 12
it had
volts to it.
Well, we had on the manifolds, we had the heat riser that came up and
Right.
heated. But it had another tube or something that would, because what was going in the carb and in the intake wasn't going through the coil. The
Right.
coil was separate.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but the vacuum, when you started it, it pulled the vacuum, and it would, like a quarter-inch, eighth-inch, quarter-inch, whatever the setting was for the choke of that vehicle. And you had to adjust it.
Ooh. Did you guys ever evacuate 12 with a 30-pound can in a 5-gallon bucket full of ice water?
Of 12? No.
I had a friend show me that when I first started doing AC in vehicles. And, a lot of times, and I hate to say it, we'd look both ways and crack it open, shut the hood, and walk away,
Mhm.
before the EPA would descend on you. But this guy, he would take an empty 30-pound and put it in a 5-gallon bucket and fill it up with ice water. I mean, just fill it up with ice and then pour water over it so it would conduct the heat better. And it would draw it down, recover 98% of the 12 out of the system. And if you were in a shop, you could literally take a blow dryer to the evaporator coil and heat it up, and it would chase the refrigerant out into the bucket. It
Makes
worked
sense.
it worked well. I mean, and it was much, much, much cheaper than having, a system that was going to evacuate it all properly. But I mean, you get done and you hit the valve and that's all that was left,
We flushed, this was back in the 80s, before it was even, this EPA, or make him money shit started.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what we flushed our 12 systems with? R10.
Yeah.
Because we had cans of like big, 30-pound cans of R10, and we'd flush it with R10.
Yeah, you don't mind using it. You don't mind vacuuming it out. It used to, when I first started, at 12 was like, $2.99 a pound. I mean, it was cheap. And I was always taught to vacuum a system down at least 3 times. And you'd vacuum it down for a half hour, and then, put a little bit of a charge to it, vacuum it down again, vacuum it down.
Yeah, the accumulators or evaporator dryers would actually hold refrigerant, and then release it after you backed it.
Sorry if I'm not talking. I'm eating lunch.
Aha. I'm sitting here waiting on the grass to dry up a little bit more from the dew. I'm gonna go out and mow here.
I'm thinking about that too. It's nice and sunny out. Still, well, it's almost 70 degrees outside at 11 o'clock. It's supposed to be nice around midweek, which would be about right. Actually, if I was smart, I'd do it now while it's just a light growth.
It's like you guys are always 10 degrees higher than we are, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we just had rain for the last 3 days.
Months.
Yeah, we did a little bit. Yeah, well, you know, it is that time of year. This is when, normally this time of year is when I'm watching the river levels madly. Because it can be one of those things where it's not so much if it rains here, it's when it rains up in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and that area to the north of here, because then here it comes down the Mississippi. Uh-oh.
Yeah, Monday today is 65 high. Takes all day to get there.
Yeah.
Mostly sunny. Tomorrow, 70. Few evening showers. Wednesday, windy. And then Thursday, they're not calling for rain, but then back Friday, we now have rain all the way, well, past the 10-day, past next Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of rain. Oh,
Let's see what they're saying on our 10-day here. Okay, today's 78.
I already know what they're going to say for us.
Good Lord.
Drive for 5 days, then it comes back in.
We're looking, yeah, I'm not supposed to see any precipitation until Friday. AM thunderstorms. And then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday next week. Oh, geez. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's supposed to rain every day for over a week. Good Lord.
Yep.
See, that's what I'm getting to, is like Saturday is supposed to be with chance of thunderstorms at 91 degrees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
90
clears
here,
off
yeah.
then it clears off for Sunday, then it goes back to storming Monday.
Yeah, they're showing...
Where you at, Piss? What state?
Oklahoma. I'm about 44 miles from Lawton anyway.
Okay. So all that, yeah, that stuff that you got went south of us.
It looks like it's going to be coming right on me. I'm looking at next Saturday, partly cloudy, 90. Then Sunday, storms. Monday, storms. Tuesday, storms. Wednesday, storms. Thursday, storms. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, storms. I mean, just as far as their 10-day goes, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days. And yeah, today's 78, tomorrow 84, then in the mid 70s, Friday 80, Saturday 90. And
you guys are, you're not that far. I don't understand that.
Yeah, that is weird.
You guys are, I mean, it's like Monday 65 high, Tuesday 70 here to high, then Wednesday 62, Thursday 60. It's like, how in the world?
Let's put on that meteorological hat, shall we? I'll bet you there's a dip in the jet stream that falls right below, say, the southern tip of Lake Michigan. And,
that's probably it.
You're going to get a lake effect cooling from the lake itself. And if by chance the jet stream dips even further south, then you're going to get, we don't want to say an Arctic chill, but you're going to be getting more of a northwesterly off the lake.
Because you are south of us. You're south about half our state.
Yeah.
Down, but I mean, it's like weird. That
And you're up around what, Gary?
no, I'm in Fort Wayne.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, yeah. You are a few latitude up from us.
Yeah, I'm right between you and Zeke, almost identical. I mean, just
Mm-hmm. And see, he gets the same thing. I mean, he's literally, he could, spit into Canada and throw a rock in. Well, he could spit into the Erie and then throw a rock into Canada from where he's at. The first time I went up there, I mean, it was, the wind in April is hilarious coming off the lake. I mean, absolutely insane. And then on the way back, after going through all of northern upstate and coming back through the Finger Lakes and whatnot, we spent a day in Cleveland, and it was the same thing. We drove over to the lake, and the wind coming off the water was just hilarious. We went to a park, beautiful park. And I'm like, why would people come here? The wind would blow you back into the parking lot. I mean, there has to be days when it's not doing that. I don't know.
even a southwest wind is going to still hit Buffalo off of Erie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it'll get up there. It'll just
The only
take
way I
a
would
while.
think they would ever get away from that is the winds that came from the Atlantic coast over here that way. And
Well,
that's rare.
Yeah.
well, this is our last break for tornadoes for the next 2 months.
That's good. But yeah, you're right in the middle of the alley, too.
Yeah. Because like when June hits, it'll stop. When August hits, it doesn't start until September hits. That's when it starts.
Well, you and I are, Stinker, you're in the alley too, aren't you? I mean, it comes up from Oklahoma.
Yeah, we're in the
through
northeast
where St.
section of
Louis,
it.
Up to,
Yeah, it follows
hits
44.
around us.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, that's the jet stream. It comes right up 44. That's the corridor. Head southwest on 44, you'll go through Joplin and then straight into Oklahoma, and it just, just gets better from there,
And a lot of times, not always, knock on wood, here mostly what I've noticed that a lot of the storms either go north of us or they go south of us. They do come through Fort Wayne area, Allen County. But usually those are nasty ones because they come across, down Illinois, south of Chicago,
Yeah.
and from Peoria there. When there's a storm coming in there and it's bow-shaped, I worry about it because ever since that derecho that we had that one year, I watched that sucker come. That thing was moving fast. Yeah, derecho, I think, is over 400 miles? I think anything over 400 miles, they consider that straight line winds. Above 60 or something like that.
I sat through
Call it a
one.
derecho.
One of the worst ones we'd had in a while. I sat through it in my truck. It was kind of wild.
Well, the wildest thing that I had was like me and my mom were outside of town, right? And we have a trailer park not far from us and stuff. Second thing, because we were out of town doing something, like they sat there and saw that tornado drop right there in that trailer park, and it basically flipped trailers over there and went to where we got our oil change. It destroyed that place really well. It destroyed a gas line right there by a motel. It sat there for 5 or 10 minutes and right next to Walmart. Then after that, it started moving up 44.
Yeah. And I think it's been proven by scientists that tornadoes are attracted to mobile home parks and communities. I mean, I bought one, and I had never really paid much attention to it, you know, because I'd never bought one before. The one that I bought had 4 huge metal straps built into the construction that went, you know, from the bottom of one side over the top and down the other side, that you would unroll almost like you're putting down a load on a trailer. And you run huge anchors into the ground on either side of the pad so that it stays there. I mean, you're lashing that puppy to the ground. And you would think that it would be even as sturdy as, you know, like my house here, which is all brick. But evidently not.
It's great if it holds together. Problem it is the pressure.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
pressure.
It'll hold it down, but then it'll explode out. And once
Mhm.
something's gone, it'll just tear it apart.
Well, I tell you, that tornado that we had, it went straight up to Moore, Oklahoma, and holy smoke! So basically, it knocked one of my aunt's windows completely out. Right? Didn't even destroy and my other aunt who lived up in Moore, she basically lost her whole entire house. Her house was completely gone. I'll just tell you what was there. Yes,
Pile of dirt.
nothing but the slab.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then she couldn't find her deep freeze and everything. She found her deep freeze on the other side of I-35.
They used to say that a tornado coming through town was almost like a divorce. You know, your house is gone, your shed's in somebody else's yard, you know, that kind of thing.
I don't know how much is true. Because Fort Wayne doesn't really have a history of actual tornadoes going through it. They always say, well, it's because of the river. I don't know how much true that is.
That can do it. It really can. We don't have much, out of the ones that have hit around here, very, very, very seldom do they get close to downtown and the riverfront for 2 reasons. 1, the river itself, the humidity will throw it off. 2, the downtown area, the city proper, is a heat bubble. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of times when thunderstorms are coming through, a lot of times they'll go either to the north of us or to the south of us, because
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
the temperature
too.
difference between like where I live versus say 40 miles south of here, west of here, or north of here, is going to be, you know, 15 degrees lower because of the heat bubble of the city. The same thing happens. Like that one that I sat through that night, I went and saw my partner in my business, his band play out in St. Charles. And I left there at like 10 o'clock at night, got on 70 East to head back down into the city, and didn't make it 5 miles down the highway and traffic was stopped dead. I mean, we sat for 3, almost 4 hours. And by the time I finally creeped up to where they had us turning around on one of the exits, oh my God, once you crossed over the Missouri River and got up to like Highway 270, you know, go around, it was like all the shit was everywhere. Trees laying across the highway, all this stuff. The tornado had come through, tore Lambert Airport up, our major airport. I mean, just ripped the roof off of most of it, and it was all but destroyed. And I had, up to that, I had no idea. I mean, it was
Yeah,
just raining.
people are still talking about that Reno that we had a while back, where a F5 tornado went, like, basically ripped the Derrick Creek in half. Like, the pipe was out of the ground,
Mhm.
it was all bent to heck. You know, I was like, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the finger of God. I mean, we've had a few come through here historically. I mean, taking down broadcast towers and stuff like that. But it's very, very infrequent. You know, almost a rarity here in town.
Well,
But,
See,
you know.
Fort Wayne, it's called the Summit City because
Mhm.
we sit on a summit. That's another thing too. Where I'm actually hop, and a rock drove from the actual summit,
Oh,
the summit,
man.
the top of the up here where, and we got 3 rivers that come through Fort Wayne. We got, come in. Let me say 2 come in.
And
one
one
flows
goes
out.
out. Yeah.
Yep, we got the St. Joe, which comes up, actually leads all the way up to Lake Michigan. It's fed, you know, through. I mean, it curves over like it's going to go to Erie, then comes back down. It meets the St. Joe or St. Mary's River here, and flows into the Maumee. And it's weird because you got the St. Joe coming down from the north, which almost doesn't really run parallel, but it's just right above the Maumee. So it runs down to Fort Wayne, and then Maumee, it runs out. So everything east of us is definitely lower than we are. North of us is a little higher, but Fort Wayne actually is.
See, I hear
where
that,
we're
and
at,
all
like
I
I said,
can
the
think is tower with an antenna on top of it, and you can talk for days.
Yeah, we're high up. We're high up here.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't worry about floods.
Yeah, I'm in a pretty high part of town, and I mean, I'm within, 3 miles of the Mississippi, as the crow flies. But I'm up high enough. I'm 450 feet over sea level here, and I wouldn't even think about it. But I'm high enough to where my antenna, I can really talk from here. And the radials on the bottom of my antenna are roughly, 8 inches, 10 inches above the peak of my roof. So it's, you know, as all things go, it's not very high, but I can talk over people with towers without a problem. But I hear, man, when you're up in, you know, when you're up high like that, that's what I always think of as, man, it's a great place for an antenna. I can talk across this country without a problem, you know. It's even better if you can look out a window of your house or stand in your yard and look somewhere and see a water tower. Yeah, man, that's even better because you know you're in the highest part of town. So, yeah.
Well, there was a guy that my grandpa knew before he closed the CB shop. We were out in the middle of New Mexico, and my grandpa was talking to us through his CB.
Mm-hmm.
Because my grandpa had one of those CBs that were, can't remember what it is, but I just know the name brand of it, General Lee.
Oh, yeah. It was a President was the name of the company. They have since been absorbed into RCI. But yeah, the President radios were a standby. They were the go-to, and they still are. There's Grant's, there's Washington's, there's the Theodore. They named them all after presidents. And Robert E. Lee, or General Lee, was one of the President radios. They were good radios. They really were. It was almost lightly attached to Cobra as well. A lot of people still love their presidents. I never had one. I've had tons of Cobras, have tons of RCIs, but never had a President. But I knew a lot of people that had them, and they loved them. People still love them to death. If you look into it, people, you get a grant, and people dive on that stuff. And they made mobiles and bases. Good radios.
Yeah, I just remember him telling me that when I was asleep and back in the sleeper, this was like when I was younger, that's when he told me that he was talking to one of the guys from Oklahoma and saying, I'm like, wait, really?
Yeah. Yeah, shoot,
like,
that Cobra that I gave to Zeke that he's got in his truck, Cobra 29, I used it on a magnet mount antenna, the one that I've still got on my truck, in my truck, sitting in front of my house, sat and had a conversation with a guy in Florida. Just as easy as I would have here inside. Now, granted, in the truck I run around 450 watts, over the 4 watts that the radio does. Actually, after a little bit of massaging, that radio peaks to where it dead keys around 2.5 and swings around 10 to 15. But through a decent MOSFET linear, I was putting out some pretty decent power. I only do like 600 here in the house, but I was doing 4.5 in the truck. And you could talk, depending on what part of town you're in, you could talk around the country with it on a magnet mount antenna, a 4-foot antenna, where I've got a 22-foot antenna on the back of the house that will easily, even barefoot, talk a long way.
Won't that heat up your fillings?
A bit. Yeah, it was like, remember that? Wasn't that a Gilligan's Island episode where he was picking up radio stations from his fillings?
Yeah.
I used to think, okay, I'm sterilizing every bird that flies around the house. When I was living in Chesterfield, I was on the edge of a bluff. And I could really talk from there, East Coast especially. But the amount of power that I'm legally able to operate with my ham ticket made it really rough on my neighbor, because I came out of everything in their house that had a speaker. It didn't matter whatever it was, if it was plugged in or not. I was going to come out of it. And every time I keyed up the radio, all their security lights on the outside of the house would turn on. And it came to one night where she called the police on me because I was coming through her cordless phone. And she thought that I could hear what she was saying on her cordless phone. Well, of course I couldn't. I mean, I could have, but I wasn't. I mean, you can do that with a baby monitor. But that's not the frequency range I was running in. So they show up at the house, and I invited them in. I showed them my setup, showed them my license, showed them FCC rules and regulations, Part 15, subsection C, which applies to her phone and other types of electrical gear, that says this device must accept any and all interference, even that which causes undesirable operation, and may not cause any. That's what her phone says, right? I'm legally able to operate what I've got, so I'm sorry. And she just became a real Karen about it. So I took to what I call running the ring up on my D104. It has like a key lock on it, where I could key it up and run this ring up, and it stays keyed up, and I'd sit back and read forum articles with feeling. And it was coming out of everything in her house. Her kids were freaking out because, they've got like a boom box up in their closet, and I'm coming out of it. I was coming out of the, Genie organ in her front room, that kind of stuff. This was before we had gone digital on TV, so I was blocking out Channel 2 hard. But anyway, now that everything's digital, it's not so bad. Here, the only thing that I've come through was one of my next door neighbors had an old Mickey Mouse phone, and I would come out of it. And that was about it with that. And I'm not on as much as I used to be. It used to be, every night I was on the radio. Maybe 10, 15 years ago. When everybody had a CB in their house. Shoot, back in the 70s, Dad was running a tube type linear in his car. And I could tell, sitting at the desk in the den where we had the radio set up, I'd talk to him on his way home from work, so I'd know when to run out and open the garage door, because I was the garage door opener. And when he was within a block, it would seriously screw up the TV in the room, which was, of course, a 19-inch portable. They called it portable because it had a handle on top of it, black and white tube set, and it would just blot out the screen. I kept waiting for his face to come on the screen. I still have that linear. It's a Black Cat. It's supposed to be 150 watts, but the thing swung well over 2. I'm not sure. I haven't tried powering that thing up in a million years. I'd probably have to recap it first. Otherwise, it'd just be a blue smoke generator.
I probably ought to get around here and get out and start mowing the grass. I think it's drying out. And the backyard's usually shaded. It's fairly fully sun right now because it's all wooded back here, so I have to wait longer for the back to dry. Still haven't mowed the side of the house over here between the neighbors. It's too freaking wet. There's a low area over
that's a
there.
snowball effect, isn't it?
Yeah.
The longer the grass, the longer it takes to dry, and the longer it is to dry before you can cut, kind of thing.
I just get Buxton to go over there with a weed whacker and cut it.
There you go.
The thing of it is, though, it's going to destroy. And I don't know if he's still got no parachute.
Yeah. Last week I did the backyard, and I decided why not, and I did the whole thing with the weed eater. And spent, 20 minutes on the front porch with a brush, cleaning off my legs and my shoes. I was completely coated. My backyard has good grass, but it also has ground cover, like a broadleaf ground cover. And it had gotten, 4 inches deep. And underneath it is the grass. And once a year I have to get rid of the ground cover for the grass to take over. And that's what I did. And it was almost up to my waist. It was thigh high. I was completely coated in grass.
I'll never forget. It's funny because it's really my stepdad's sister's husband. And it's because she's my aunt and I'm older than she is. It's stupid. But anyways, her husband, which was in my class, where we used to sit in the library and talk, and I remember him. He's always a nerdy guy. And, he's smarter than hell. when it come to comments in every day, task, he was just a fumbling idiot.
Mhm.
And they just happened to move in. There was a duplex out by out Matili Road that my wife and I lived at for a short amount of time. Anyways, make a long story short, they moved into the duplex beside us, and we were responsible for mowing our yards. And I was sitting out there one day, he come out, he had got him a gas weed whacker. I was sitting on the back porch, kind of having a beer, relaxing. He come out and said, I'm going to do some weeding over here. All right, no problem. Comes out, he's just got penny loafer shoes on and a pair of shorts. He whips that thing up and he starts out, and you can see him like making faces, legs jumping up and stuff. He stops it and he looks at me and goes, I think this is a job for long pants.
Yeah.
I said, you think? It ate his legs up, man. Because he was in little small gravel and dirt clods. And he was,
Oh yeah.
his legs looked like a cat took a hold of him when he got done. But yeah.
Gotta love
Well, I
it.
think this is a job for long pants.
He made that leap really quick, didn't he?
Yeah.
I love it.
And when it's like itty bitty grass, that's fine. But when it's that tall grass, that's when you gotta have long pants on.
Oh yeah. Well, or anything. Even like I say, that ground cover back there. It has thicker stems, round stems, rather than a blade of grass. So it throws a lot more liquid. That's why, I mean, if it had been grass, even if there had been that much, it would have bounced off me or just fell off me. But those round stems have all the liquid, so it sticks to you. That's why it came out with so much of it attached. Now, I know better. I wear jeans when I'm going to be out doing a bunch of that. When I'm, pushing the mower, I'm mulching, so it's not as huge a deal. But or unless, like in front, the sweet gum balls, you wear, leggings, chainmail, because those things, it's a horizontal hailstorm. They'll knock you out.
I've weed-whacked shorts on. I mean, you can aim it where it
Oh yeah.
somewhat goes, but
Yeah.
when you go to hit
Tilt it to the left.
that line feeder, that shit goes anywhere. That's usually what hits my legs. Leave a little welt or.
Yeah, I've always
Yeah,
taken
that's
the
all-
shroud, that shield that they come with. I've never
Yeah.
used one ever. Well, a lot of people do, but who would, right? And I think that's supposed to help out a bit. I also learned to wear glasses. I'll wear my cheaters. They're not going to help me see, but they will shield my eyes. I don't want to be a safety Sally on this, but it helps.
I only got 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta take care of them.
Yeah, ask Jordy. I'd like to see him with a weed whacker out there. That'd be a riot.
Oof.
But that would be a piss riot. He would
Well,
probably enjoy the
when
hell
I was
out
teaching, when I was instructor for automotive, I was out there. We were trying to get what the hell were we trying to get? Remember, I had a chisel or like a punch, rounded nose punch,
of it.
flat nose, and I was trying to get out. I can't remember what the hell we were trying to get out. I don't know if we were working. It seemed like we were working on a U-joint or something. I was trying to get a clip to come out, and I was
Yeah.
hitting it. And all of a sudden, because I was one of the kids all around me, and I was hitting that, and I got guys in the back, and always wanted to fight you for your, I wanted to put their glasses above their head, thought that was okay.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, man, a piece of that chisel come off and hit me right above my navel. And it went through my shirt and went into me probably about, I don't know, an eighth of an inch, because I could still see it down. I had to dig it out. I got home, I dug it out. But anyways, that thing went in there. And I told them guys, because they were like, what happened? He said that chisel or something went in. I look at my shirt and there's a hole. I pull up. The kids are looking at my belly. I said, look, I'm like, oh my God, what?
They're wearing the
"That's what you
glasses
wear."
now, aren't they?
That's what, yeah. I said, you imagine that hitting you in the eye?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's why Derek calls a wire wheel a cheek poker.
Oh,
I mean, how many times have you had a fresh, especially fresh, wire wheel on, even an electric drill, start chucking wire,
yeah. Especially the Chinese versions of them, where things break. I mean, they'll. I don't know. There's a quality in the steel. There's a quality in that. You buy those little, what do we call them?
Flapper discs.
Was it Buffalo tools? Remember the Buffalo tools?
Yep.
And that was the start of, I think, the Chinese tools that were
I
coming
noticed
here.
it more in brass wheels than steel wire wheels.
Yeah, brasses.
And
Nasty too.
that was always a fixture on my bench grinder. One side was a grinding wheel, the other side was a flapper, a cheek poker.
Yep.
And I used it more than I did the grinder, quite honestly.
The only way you can get the brass bristles out is if it sticks in it. You have to use a brass magnet to get those out.
Yeah, it's like you've
Brass
probably
magnet,
had
get it?
times, you had times where you had fiberglass stuck in you. I mean, if you've ever worked with fiberglass, patching boat hulls and shit,
Yeah.
you're gonna have
Arms.
it. And I mean,
Hey.
it's almost impossible to get it out.
There's some antennas that my grandpa had a really long time ago
Mhm.
that were made of fiberglass.
Oh yeah.
And let me tell you, every time I was little, I would get that in my skin, I would start itching.
Oh yeah. Yep.
You almost have to. It's. I remember having to. I used to get it in my arms a lot, and it's like you had to look with some sort of a magnifying glass, or just pick like a, I don't know,
And a bright light.
some kind of fingernail file or something to go over it, like a knife, pocket knife.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go over it until you felt it.
Till you felt it, yeah.
Then you look at it in a magnifying glass, turn it where you can see it sticking out of your hand in the light, and grab it with it. Try to get it out of there. Yeah, it sucks.
And try to grab it without just busting it off.
Yeah.
And then you'll find it 2 years later. Again. I thought I got rid of that. Yeah. Yeah, I remember those as well. It's, Gosh, again, the good old days, right?
The other thing that kids want them to do is spin frickin' bearing. Oh my God, I got one kid so much for that. And tell them about it in class. Tell them you don't spin bearings with air.
Oh,
And then
God.
finally we found out the guy that worked at Napa, that's how he lost one of his eyes, was spinning bearing.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes he would deliver parts to us out there. He'd come in and say, hey, we'd be in class or somewhere in shop. And I always say, what was his name? Nick? I think it was Nick. I don't remember his last name. Nick. I said, hey, Nick, you got time to tell your story about spinning bearing? He said, well, yeah, I'll do it. Take me about 5 minutes. He'd get to class. And he's talking, he'd just start spilling it, like, hey, you don't spin bearings. And people are thinking, oh, this guy's from the parts. What does he know? And if he had a glass eye. And he says, now, if you don't think I know what I'm talking about, he went through the whole spill. He says, you see this? And he
Pop the eye out.
popped his eye, because it was just shape, they shape them to your, not a whole eyeball, just like
Right.
shape your eye. He'd pop it out and show it in his hand to the kids. The kids were like freaking out. That's what happens when you spin a bearing. It comes apart.
Oof.
And they're like, what? Yeah. So I know what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
I'll be spinning bearings with air.
I can show you on most all of my bowling balls. The thumb hole is vaguely egg-shaped. It's not round. My right thumb and I mean, you can see it a little bit. Let's see if you can see it on the camera. A little bit. See how on the right-hand side in the screen, how it kind of sticks up a little further?
Yeah.
There. I was
Yeah.
turning an armature. I think it was from a vacuum cleaner. And the cooling fan side used a sealed bearing. The commutator side used a bronze oil light built into the housing. So in my left hand, I'm holding the bronze oil light side. It's just sliding in my fingers. The right side, I've got a grip on the bearing itself. And I was turning the commutator on my grinding wheel. So this armature is spinning in my two hands at, 15, 20,000 RPM. My left hand lost contact with the armature. And it dropped. The left side of it did. My right hand is still holding on to the bearing because this thing's spinning wildly fast, and it's got some decent mass to it. And it started to gyrate and gyrate and gyrate to the point where the cooling fan came in contact with my thumb and ground it off. And it was like, and there was a huge stripe of blood up the wall and shit. Drop it into a trash can, and it bounced around and bounced around and bounced around and stuff. And ever since then, I've had the modified Dave thumb and had to go in and modify the thumb holes on my bowling balls to get it to work right. And yeah, that's what happens when you screw around with stuff like that. Same thing, my right pinky was darn near cut off in the same shop. My second wife, she ran the Subway next to my shop. It was next door. And they had one of those scimitar style rotary tomato slicers. And they wanted to swap out the blades. The blades are held in to the center hub of it with set screws. And the set screw on one side was stripped out. So I put the hub in my vise on my bench, and I was drilling it out. And I mean, you know how you're doing this. You've got your weight on the drill, right? And the bit broke. So, and you know how this works. If you've ever worked on an engine in the middle of the winter and a socket slips off of a bolt while you're trying to remove, say, I don't know, an exhaust manifold off the side of a head, and with all your might you punch that exhaust manifold, right? I punched straight down onto the blade that was sticking straight up and damn near sliced my pinky off. And I mean, in between the middle knuckle and my hand, it was up real high, and where I held my hand up like this, and right here the skin and muscle and everything sagged down, and you could see the bone. You could see in between the bone and the meat. Like the bone was the highest thing, and you can't hardly see it. There's a nice little scar right there where they had to put it all back together. Yeah, they laced it up like a football. The thing swelled up wildly. They just dripped lidocaine straight into it to numb it up, and I'm like, wow, check that out. All of a sudden, I can't feel my entire hand up past the wrist. I'm like, okay. And he laced it up like a football is what it looked like in front of me. I'm like, cool. And went right back to work.
So basically...
but yeah, you don't do that.
So basically, when my grandpa sinker had his truck wreck and stuff, and he was basically, him and another truck were running side by side at the same speed, right?
Yeah.
And you know that one exit right there at Sky City that had that hill a lot where it took a long time to pick up speed?
Okay.
So a car hauler pulled in front of him at 35 mile an hour.
Oh, jeez.
Him and that other truck were running about the same speed, side by side. And
Nowhere to go.
So my grandpa just loaded that tractor right up into the car hauler.
Yeah.
Totaled out 11 brand new Lincoln Navigators, and he lost his middle part of his finger on his middle finger pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, did he punch the dash?
He doesn't know what happened.
Mm.
All he remembers is crashing and then laying over in that passenger seat.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what saved his life.
The only head-on I was ever in my 71 Comet was that way. I turned to say something to my friend and woke up in the hospital the next day. I mean, letting out the breath I just took kind of thing. Where we were going through an intersection. I was doing maybe 40, 45 miles an hour. And a guy in an F-250 made a left right in front of me. I didn't see him, so I didn't even slow. I didn't know to slow down. Probably wouldn't have helped if I would have seen him. But I went head on with him, and I just slammed forward. My chest collapsed the steering column, which bruised my sternum real good. The side of my head, which is what knocked me out, took the steering wheel off, and my right knee went through the radio and busted my kneecap, the patella, in half. So I was in a cast for that for a long time. But yeah, that just like, I can imagine him hitting something or somebody that hard. If he had his hands on the steering wheel and he was bounced forward, he could have punched the dashboard or something on the dash hard enough to bust a finger off.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. We don't know what happened, but when they had to basically get a record out there to pull the steering wheel off of him, so he could get out of the truck by himself.
Yep. Yeah, evidently, people told me, I had friends that saw the accident happen, and they said they saw me after the accident standing leaning up against a telephone pole there on the side of the road at the intersection smoking a cigarette. I have no memory whatsoever. I woke up in the hospital, literally letting out the hit that I had just taken. When I say I had turned my head to talk to my friend, I turned my head to hand him the pipe, and woke up instantly in the hospital bed going, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, like people were saying when I had my wreck back in 16, they said I had a concussion.
Yeah, I must have. The same thing. Yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah, I had a TBI with my wreck too. I got a scar right in the middle of my forehead. I don't know. People ask me if I ever passed out. I always said no, but I don't know if I did or not. If I did, it wasn't very long because, like I said, I don't know what broke my sternum, my ribs. It had to be the airbag. I was strapped in. My shoulder, I still suffer with that. That's an old injury when I was a kid, but it really flared that thing up. And, my neck and my back was broke, my lower back. All I remember is that it was like slow motion. Was your guys' wreck slow motion? Mine.
I don't remember anything.
I remember, please somebody don't hit me in the back. I got control of the truck. And I got hit, and then I was out of control. And I remember trying to correct it, and then I remember the truck overcorrecting, and I was looking at the wall, doing 60 miles an hour. I remember that wall, and I said, this is going to hurt. I said in my mind, I said, this is going to hurt.
This is going to hurt.
Well,
and I hit that sucker, and I remember getting my wind knocked out of me, and then I was kind of like slooped over. I woke up. I guess I woke up. I don't know. Just remember I was sitting there, and I I knew my back was broke. I knew my neck was broke. Finally, somebody come up and said, "How you doing? Can you turn your ignition off?" And I tried to, and I said, "No, I'm supporting myself with my right hand. My left hand's stuck." I thought it was jammed.
Mhm.
Oh, it's paralyzed.
Oh, nice.
And,
Well,
Lee.
I remember, like, I don't remember nothing after. As soon as I hit that top of that roof, it was lights out for me.
Yeah. And that's probably a blessing. That's what I think as well. I mean, like I say, people said that I was awake and I was walking around after the accident. And I remember none of it. When I woke up in the hospital the next morning, after, chatting with, actually, my aunt was there, find out, okay, I'm in the hospital, this kind of thing. I hopped in my wheelchair to go see my friend that was with me because he was down the hall. And I got in the wheelchair. I made it out into the hallway, had my IV in tow, and a nurse came up, because I had a head wound. She's like, "Who are you?" And I told her who I was. She said, "Okay, where are you?" And I was like, and I looked at the wristband. She's like, "No cheating." I was like, "Well, I don't know where I am." Quite honestly, it hadn't come up in conversation yet. Sorry. And one of the main reasons that I was going down the hall to my friend's room, I wasn't really all that concerned about his well-being, but I was in pediatrics, he wasn't. So we could smoke in his room and not in mine. So I would have to go down to his room to have a cigarette. I mean, it was safety.
When I woke up, when I came out, to me, I went in. I was telling everybody when they got me on the ambulance, got me in. My wife was there, and Dad ended up showing up, and I kept telling them I broke my back. Well, they're going to get you for X-rays. They're going to check it out. I know my back's broke. How do you know that? I said, I know my back's broke.
Yeah.
So when they come back, they come in and said, "Yeah, you got to go into surgery." I said, "Okay." And that's all I remember, because I remember one thing. I remember they were doing some sort of an X-ray or something before that. And I kept yelling, "My legs are on fire! My legs are on fire! What are you people doing?" And they're like, "What do you mean your legs on fire?" I said, "They feel like you're taking a blowtorch to them."
That's a good thing.
Well, that's the nerves.
Right.
And
They're still
that's
working.
The nerves. Yeah. And then the next thing I know, I'm waking. I'm in this room. I remember waking up and I'm sitting there awake and I kept hearing and thinking, "What is it? Noise?" I kept hearing this. Word. Well, it was all the crap that was hooked up to me, keeping me going, breathing and everything.
Right.
My wife comes in and she says, "Okay, you were in a wreck." And I remember saying, I couldn't say it because I didn't know at the time I had a trach. And I would move my mouth and I felt like I was talking, but I wasn't. I remember looking up there and going, "No shit. Do you think I'm stupid?" Because this is what, maybe 10 minutes after I told you my back was broke? Well, no, it was 2 weeks after my back was broke.
Oh,
They put me in a
Jesus.
induced coma. And
Well,
then I started throwing up. Oh my God. Oh, that was the nicest thing.
so like that was right before my first concussion. So we had high winds out there in Texas. Didn't even think about it. I went back to the trailer and checked my load and stuff. I sat there, opened the trailer door. That wind caught a hold of that trailer door, slung me back, hit the back of my head. My eyes basically went from color to black and white. I had to get somewhere where it was dark so I could get my eyesight back.
Oh, yeah, that's not fun.
Then after that, it was like, then my mom found out that I had another. She didn't know about that concussion that I had, but that. So I said that concussion was not probably 3-4 months ago. then I came up with this one from the wreck.
Oy. And see, you wonder, why are we still alive?
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, looking back, and I mean, you know, the accidents were accidents. A lot of my injuries were, you know, stupidity induced. So, yeah.
Well, I keep thinking to myself, all the crazy shit I used to do when I was young, especially on dirt bikes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, all kinds of stuff.
I know,
and,
right?
And I get freaking taken out by some lady with shitty tires.
Right.
You know, it's like, God dang.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how many times? I mean, I endoed my station wagon doing 90 down a gravel road, and I cut my finger. That was it. That was the only injury. There were 4 people in the car, right? Smashed the roof down to the seats in that car when it landed. Anyway, just fine. Very comfortable accident as accidents go. And then, without even seeing the person make a left in front of me, I run head on into a truck and wake up in the hospital the next day. I'd have to say that was fairly comfortable as well, because I didn't feel a thing of the accident. Afterwards, yeah, I suffered for quite some time.
Yes, like they say I was running on adrenaline rush after my wreck. But after my mom showed up, because like all I remember is like there were 2 guys gonna help me try to get up, because I was starting to get stiff from my wreck, because my adrenaline was kind of starting to wear off. I said, I want her, and she knew why I wanted. They knew why I wanted my mom.
Yeah, here comes the pain.
No, because of my left elbow, I have a metal plate and screws in it. Because she knows where to grab it.
Oh, God, man. I understand that crap. Because, man, there was a freaking nurse I went off on. Because I was, dude, with a broken lower back like that, tailbone, it felt like my tailbone drove up in my...
Oh, yeah.
In my other area of... in the front of my derriere, it's like it hurt so bad, and my lower back. And this freaking one nurse, big old butchy nurse, she'd come in one day because I was having a hard time getting up. It hurt so bad, and she'd come in. She says, "Oh, what? We got to get him, but get. You're going to have to get." And she grabs a hold of me, and she yanks up me off trying to yank me off the bed, and. Oh my God, it set me off. Oh my God, I went off on her. I said, "You want your ass knocked the hell out?" She said, "What are you talking to me like that for?" I said, "Because if you ever grab me like that again, I'm gonna knock you the hell out." She just kind of walked out. And I after that, I told him, I said, "I don't want her around me." Because yeah, she just. I mean, what do you do? Somebody with a broken back, you just grab a hold of them and freaking yank them. I didn't even have my back brace on, because I had for 3 months, I had to wear it's a turtle shell, but it was more comfortable.
Right.
For support. And this is when I'm getting out of bed with nothing on, no support at all. Had to have a neck support. Oh my God, that thing, it drove me nuts. You lay there and it rested behind your head.
Yeah.
So your head laid on a nice soft pillow, but a hard piece of plastic, you know.
Yeah, on your neck.
But yeah, that nurse, I went off on it and said, "Who the hell do you think you are?" I just...
Sometimes
yeah, man, it was... Oh.
They're there for your benefit, right? I had, when I had my open heart surgery, I mean, they had me up walking the next day, right? And they had this one nurse. I don't want. She was probably part of the physical therapy, group, but huge. Say Eastern Bloc, Eastern European kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Heavy Slavic accent. she, you know, she was, the only thing she was missing was the whip and the chair. You know,
Right.
and I mean, she was a sweetheart. She really was. Looking back at her, but she had me going up and down steps in a couple of days after, you know, cutting all the muscles and cracking my chest open. And I mean,
Mhm.
but
And, yeah,
you know,
it is important that you get up.
Oh,
like
yeah.
people with knee surgeries, they get you up the next day,
mhm.
and it's important because I can prove that because I was bedridden. My ass was knocked out. You know, my legs. I didn't have any strength in my legs, but yet some of that was because of the atrophy that was actually
Oh yeah.
be laying around so much.
Yep.
And you know, I wanted to stand up so bad, but I couldn't do it. So I had physical therapy eventually come in the house. And there's this guy, he was into fishing, and we hit it off. I trusted the guy, and he would stand me up and hold me up. And I remember the first time he stood me up, and he was standing up holding me. I looked down at him. I said, "You're a little short son of a bitch, aren't you?" He looked at me because I'll just push your ass back in bed if you want me to do that. So I said, "I can't believe you're that short." And I was teasing him. But yeah, he would hold me up and then try. Eventually, the beginning of it was he let go of me. I'd sit there and stand till going down.
That's what he says. Yep, I am. I'm also the only one keeping your head off the floor
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
So. Man, I just love short people.
Kind of like that. What is it? What is it? Black Sheep, whatever it was. He's falling down that hill, and he's like, "Oh, hold on, little tree." You ever see that movie? John Candy. Was it John Candy? No, it was Chris
Oh.
Farley. He was tumbling down,
yeah.
and doing his acting, and he grabs a hold of that little tree
Uh-huh.
off the edge. He's like, "Oh,
That
hold
was,
on, little tree."
I
And it broke
remember
loose.
parts of that movie. Wasn't, what's his name? The monkeys in my head are talking to me. Living in a school bus on the side in the woods somewhere on the side of the hill. Shit. He was in, Under Siege, with Steven Seagal. Oh crap, I can never think of this guy's name.
Chris. You were talking about the older guy that was the dad?
No, he
Oh,
was
that-
a maniac, long white hair. He was like a Vietnam vet, and he was living in a green school bus
God,
in the
I remember what you're
woods. Oh crap.
talking- Yeah.
Oh crap. Okay, hang on. IMDb. Under Siege. Gary Busey.
Yeah. Okay. Gary Bush. Yeah.
He was in that.
Back when he was a cool actor, but he turned
Tommy
out to be
Boy
crazy.
was the name of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy Boy.
Yeah. I remember he had a real kick-ass car. I think
Yeah.
it was a convertible Mopar, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that was the guy that owned that car was the comedian
Dave
guy.
Spade?
Yeah, David Spade.
Yeah. Was that his? Okay.
Remember they hit him upside the head with a board or something, doing something by accident? They get to the restaurant. And he goes, "Do I have a mark right here?" And he was like, his whole side of his face was red. David Spade said, "No, no." And then the nurse, or not the nurse, but the waitress walks up and goes, "What the hell's wrong with your face?" He goes, "Ah, you lie to me." Big old welt on his side. That's going to leave a mark.
I used to like movies like that. I think Gary Busey also was in Neighbors. He lived next door to like Richard Pryor or something. And he had a reel mower with like a blown small block on it. The reels were like, 17 feet wide. So he could do his whole yard in 2 passes kind of thing. I'd love to find a picture of that lawnmower. I saw that lawnmower and absolutely had to have it. I remember it was one of those things where first thing in the morning, Richard Pryor's trying to sleep in, and Gary Busey opens up the garage door and fires that sucker up. Man, it wasn't that far back. Lethal Weapon? He was in Lethal Weapon? Far out.
Oh yeah. He played a lot of times. He played the bad guy.
Yeah. Under Siege, Commander Krill. I'm not seeing that one though. Not seeing. Black Sheep.
That was Black Sheep and Tommy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That must have been the other one. Yeah, Black Sheep was the one where he lived up in the hills.
Yeah, I think that's the one where he fell down the hill, fell down the mountainside,
Okay.
fell down, and he grabbed a hold of that little sapling tree that was holding him from falling, and it finally gave way, and he fell the rest of the way down the hill. And he stopped, and remember he jumped up, and he goes, "What the hell was that?"
That is one of the bigger shames. I mean, there's a lot of them, but Chris Farley was an awesome, funny actor. I still see a lot of clips from him. I mean, and he was in a ton of stuff from SNL on.
He was definitely into drugs because he was definitely into drugs heavy. Because I remember my brother-in-law, he does wardrobe. The one lives out in California. Is my wife's brother. And he worked with a couple films with him, and he said, man, he reeked really bad. And usually, those people that do that stuff, they sweat that crap out.
Oh yeah.
But that was a telltale sign that he was, he was talking about how much he kind of doing a lot of drugs.
He had more energy than anybody his size should have.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was a very, very physical actor, and it worked for him, in his acting. As far as the rest of his life, I guess not.
But yeah, he's worked with several. He worked with Bill Murray on a movie that eventually came out. But the one he was working, he says Bill Murray was the last to work with.
Oh,
and it showed it because he got pissed about something and he fired everybody. It was about, I think it was Dumbo. Was that Dumbo where they rescued that elephant or something like that? He was a movie in. That was the one he worked in.
Oh,
and he fired everybody, and then I guess the movie ended up coming out. But
Dumbo Drop.
Yeah, Dumbo Drop. That was the
Yeah.
movie. And his my wife's brother was working in that. He said, yeah, he is a big a-hole. Worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger. That he's not that big. I mean, as far as height.
Height? No, he's not.
Yeah, all he did was go around and tell what people were eating was bad for him. He was a health nut. He was very bad about, pushing health and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, wasn't he on a bunch of steroids too?
I don't know if they ever said anything about that or if it was ever proven. I mean, he was Mr. Universe for a while. I remember seeing pictures of him with like Terry Hogan and Andre the Giant, and they made Arnold look like he was 4 feet tall.
Yeah, he's short.
Yeah.
Her brother, her brother's a little bit, about an inch or two, maybe shorter than I am. And he was taller than Arnold.
Remember when he was pushing the Universal gym systems?
Mm-hmm.
My name is Arnold. I was born with this body, but not with this build. I remember
I
saying that
remember
about when I was
there's
wearing braces.
because on Netflix there's a documentary about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm. Oh
I
yeah.
sat there and watched that, and when I found out he was doing those bodybuilding competitions, like the
Yeah, yeah.
muscles and stuff,
Yep, he was Mr.
and
Universe.
and I was like, wait a minute, he must have been doing steroids at the time.
Oh, he was a fanatic. That was right. That was in the days when Universal started hitting the gyms, and there was a big debate over Universal versus Freeway. I remember that coming through. I joined George Turner's gym in like 1976, 77, in that area. I was just in middle school, and my cousin was heavily into it. He became a bodybuilder at that time. He stayed with it long after I did. But that was the timing. My cousin Steve would go out at Halloween as the Hulk. I mean, like, he'd stand in the bathtub, and his mom, my aunt, would coloring green, like with our version of body paint, which was like Karo syrup and green food coloring kind of thing, and then shred a couple of shirts and then pick out one that looked right and destroy a pair of pants and put them onto him, and he'd go out as the Hulk. And he did pretty well. And so did my aunt. My aunt got into bodybuilding, and she was in competition, like flexing on stage and, getting all oiled up and shit, which was wild. But, yeah, I did it for, maybe 2 years. I was into bodybuilding, and, you see where that got me. The only thing I got from it was when I worked at Pantera's, like we were talking about earlier. A guy gave me the nickname Veins because, standing there, the veins on my arms stood out. I remember when I was in boot camp and we were doing PT, and I'm over there doing pull-ups, and I wouldn't kip or anything. I was just doing straight pull-ups. And my arms get a little pumped, and guys like, wow, you must be heavily into bodybuilding, you must be strong. I'm like, no, I haven't been in bodybuilding for the last 9 years, but I still have the veins. That's what makes it look that way. I mean, I could still easily do 10 pull-ups, but I was not a muscle man by any stretch of the imagination. My legs were strong because I was heavily into skateboarding. So,
Yep.
that's what
I skateboarded, but I wasn't that heavy into it.
Yeah,
If I got going good and could do a wheelie, I was happy.
Yeah, that's the only thing I did. I didn't do fancy tricks, whatever, because the skateboard that I had, it was like, okay, like, I didn't go to skateboard. I just skateboarded around my house with it because I didn't know all the fancy tricks.
Yeah, we built ramps, built a big one that we put wheels on and used a riding mower to haul it around to different guys' houses in our neighborhood. And, a lot of street skating. I learned how to do a handstand from a neighbor. A friend of mine that just retired from Boeing, moved down to Florida. He moved in 2 doors over from me, and he could skateboard, and we were all into it. And he showed us all how to do handstands, and that was the big thing for a long time. And then everybody kind of fell out of it, and I was getting into skating in pools because I really enjoyed ramps. And that's where that all came from, where, any skate park that was out there, and I was heavily into that kind of stuff for years and years and years. I've still got my boards out in the garage, a couple of them. I actually bought one at a Kmart in Yuma. And it was a riot because I'd be out skating in my driveway and up and down the side, walking in the street. And the kids saw me out there like, what the hell is with this guy, you know? And Cheryl would answer a knock at the door on like Saturday morning. Hey, can Dave come out to play? It's like, oh God.
The weird about me is I could ice skate. I wasn't no, fanatic, phenomenal ice skater, but I could ice skate better than I could roller skate.
And see, I was the opposite.
I never could figure that one out. How can I stand on a blade and be better on ice skates than?
Yeah, I don't understand that either. I mean, I could ice skate backwards, but I couldn't ice skate forwards unless I was wearing figure skates. Right? Because, I mean, I grew up roller skating. We had a skate rink in town, and you would get free passes from your report card. Right? So, like, every A you got was 5 free passes, every B was 3, so on and so forth. And so I wildly got into roller skating. And it was probably 75, 76 back then. I had a set of Rhinell skates, ACS trucks and dragster wheels, with the loose bearings and shit. And, I mean, every Tuesday and Wednesday, I was at the roller rink. And I could skate faster backwards than forwards. My toe stops were, less than a quarter inch off the floor. So I could take off running in my skates. And, but when I put on ice skates, if they were laced up super tight, my ankles weren't that strong, I could skate. But I would have to just get moving, flip around backwards, and then I could take off, right? And then flip around again and just coast forward. Because I couldn't keep myself going. If I was in a pair of hockey skates, I would just sit there and ching, 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 not move. Last time I went, oh my God. My youngest daughter, Jessica, and I went to an ice rink here in town at winter. And I told her, I said, this is going to be hilarious. I'm going to be on the wall the whole time. I got out there, and it was cartoonish. Where I'm standing there, I've got 30 legs going everywhere, and I went in a heap.
Well, that's what I don't understood. There must be enough drag on the carpet, but I could skate like a madman in the carpet section of a roller rink.
Yeah.
And then they cracked down on it, but and also looked really cool at the wall, the short wall. You stand there with your look cool.
Yeah, you just stand there with your elbow.
That's about all I could do. Yeah. Eventually I could roller skate, but it took me a while to learn it. But I could skate like a madman on the carpet.
Well,
get me on that hard floor, I was like a freaking, like you said, 8 feet.
Yeah.
You can only see a blur of 2.
So me and my cousin, we were learning a lot of stuff as we got older, and so we would go to he worked at the skate rink, and I would go when he was working because I knew I could get away from a bunch of the crap there that me and him could do. Like, they would make us, we would have to, they would make us play a game where we had to jump off the wall or do a trick off the wall. It was hilarious.
And see, I was that kid when they had the speed skating out there. They'd form a train inevitably all the time. Well, I was the kid in front of the train skating backwards because that was the only way I could keep up with those guys. Was to skate backwards. For some reason, the way your knees bend, you can actually pump harder going backwards. If you've ever watched figure skating, you ever notice that when they go to do their big jumps and spins and shit, they go into it backwards? Because you can pump harder around a turn backwards better than you can going forward. But that was me. Also, my knees are very flexible, still are. And I could do like the limbo, where I could put my right knee behind my ear and stick my left leg straight out and be 6 inches off the floor. That kind of thing. And go underneath the limbo, and you'd win free passes. And shoot, I think I probably had, or my parents had, $150 in my skates. But I never paid to get into the rink. Never did. It was all free passes. I got good grades back then. That was before I found the evil weed.
Well, it was like that from when we were sitting there, like, playing those games. Like, I can remember, like, then some of the moves that we were doing were, like, dangerous. That's why we got away with it.
Yeah, we would play tag, and that was another reason why I had adjustable toe stops on my skates, where I could adjust them up and down and up and down. Well, I always kept them real close to the floor, where I could spin around and stop and take off again, just like I was wearing sneakers. So, you can get right behind me, you're not going to catch me. Not a chance, man. So, I'll be facing you and gone within a second.
So so everybody would play this game called green light, red light.
Mm-hmm.
Like, once you say green light, they get so far from you. Then after they get close to you, turn around and chase them back to the end. And you know who would always get up close to me when I was the person who was doing that when we were roller skating? My cousin Will.
Mm-hmm.
And he would sit there and try to play games with me. So.
Is that us?
Oh, sorry, I had somebody in my chat. And I'd sit there. He didn't even realize it. I went like that and grabbed a hold of him right then.
We used to play something like that in gym when I was a kid, where you sit in a circle and a person would walk around and round and round the circle, and then when they touched you, you had to get up, chase them around before they got to the spot you had got up. If not, you would continue to do this until you actually beat that person, remember?
Wasn't that like Duck Duck Goose or something like that?
Yeah, it's something like that. It was actually pretty damn fun.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Because you had to get up, and if you would chase them and tag them before they got back to your spot, which means the faster people won. But you tag them, and then I think they were out. That's how you eliminate down to so many people.
I remember.
But yeah,
one of the last times I went roller skating was over at a rink in Illinois, in Granite City, and I went with Angel, my receptionist, and her family. I had a bit of a thing for her. She ended up marrying my best friend, of course, but we're out on the rink, and I was cooking around, and before I realized, I came up behind her real fast, and still going forward. There's almost no way for me to stop, and I'm wearing rink skates. So, you try to spin around and go onto your toe stops, and you're going to fall over. So I basically came up behind her and scooped her up. And we both went down, and I thought I broke my tailbone. I mean, she had a nice, ride. She was laughing her ass off. Me, I was just in serious pain for quite some time. I mean, it had to have bruised my coccyx. And of course, her whole family laughed their asses off at me.
And my mom broke her tailbone in a tub, slipped and fell.
Oh, jeez.
And it bothered her off and on her whole life.
Oh, yeah. I'd imagine so. That's why you get one of those cushions with the big slot in the back of it. A place to rest your tailbone.
Matter of fact, with that said, I just brought it. I think she slipped in the tub is when Kennedy got assassinated.
Wow.
She was in the tub and she jumped up. Or she heard the radio or heard somebody, and they shot Kennedy or something.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's when she slipped and broke her
That
tailbone.
was November of '63. That was
Yeah.
just like a month or so after I was born. I was born 4th of October of '63.
There's a series out on Netflix that's time travel. It's
Mhm.
11/22/63
There you go.
is the name of it. I kept
Yeah.
telling my wife you need to watch that because I kept telling her it's the rabbit hole. You got to watch the rabbit hole. Well, the first series, or the first show, the episode, is called the rabbit hole. I kept messing it up. She goes, I can't find anything. It's the rabbit hole. I said, look for something up. Assassination of Kennedy, time travel. She goes, you mean 11/22/63? I go, well, that's when it took place. Well, that's the name of the show.
Makes sense.
I'm sorry.
Do you
I had her
remember
looking for.
the Seinfeld episode with the magic loogie,
Huh?
where Newman and Kramer went to a baseball game, and as they were after the game, I can't think of the baseball player. He was a famous player for either the Yankees or whoever else there in New York City. Anyway, evidently they say that he spit at them, and how it hit them both, and so on. And so Jerry said, okay, let's take a look at this, shall we? And he stood Kramer and Newman, right, in front of each other, just like the congressman and Kennedy were sitting in the car. And Seinfeld had his pointer, the long stick, and he's saying how, okay, when he spit, it hit you here, and Kramer kind of nudges forward a little bit, and then it goes down here and hits Newman in the wrist, and then it does a 180 and comes back, and I mean, he's doing the whole thing from the magic bullet, right? And that's how he ended it up. That is one magic loogie.
Yep.
I love that. Used to really love Seinfeld. I actually went and bought my friend Dan do you remember the coffee table book that Kramer did? It was
No, I didn't watch a lot of Kramer.
Oh, okay. It was a coffee table book, right? That had two legs that unfolded from it and turned the book into a coffee table. I actually found that at a bookstore and had to buy it, And then I think I also gave him a case of Three Stooges beer that year for Christmas. I was working at the liquor store at the time. Come on.
You stopped, now you can't get moving.
Yeah. It's going to take a minute for this thing to break free again. Tail it off. There we go. Yeah, the magic loogie. There was a second spitter on the grassy knoll. And I never watched, what was that other movie with Kevin Costner that delved into that? Where he was like a reporter or somebody in the FBI or something like that. I like when they would touch on stuff like that. Remember, if you watched Forrest Gump,
Yeah.
Say, man. Thank you, sir. Where he was staying at a hotel and he calls the desk. There must be somebody lost over in the next building over there. All I see is a bunch of flashlights going around. And it was the Watergate Hotel. It won't give it to me at 15 feet. You gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Where he just fell into a piece of everything. 13, 12. I know it won't let me have it until I'm at least 10 feet. Come on. I'm gonna have to notch 8 and spin wheels here. Now, 10 feet, it'll give it to me.
Mm-mm.
Okay. 9 feet, it's not giving it to me. You've got to be kidding me. Jeez. It's still golden for it. Amazing. I wonder if we've got something we can do here quick.
I'm going to have to head off and get the yard mode.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point myself here in just a short. It's after 12. It's almost lunchtime. Jump straight in. I don't know if I've ever done this. Do something short. Hey, that's kind of cool. Let's give it a try. Where are we going? Yeah.
Well, I'm into my stream for right now because I'm trying to get something downloaded. It has a few stutters here and there a little bit.
Uh-oh. I appreciate the raid, sir. Empty from the depot.
Any
You don't know where we are. I
I
don't
didn't even realize you were
recognize.
streaming. Yeah, sorry, man. I didn't
Oh,
realize
you're
you
all
were
good.
streaming.
I'm been trying to work on the computer here and there a little bit, but I had something downloading in my background on Xbox.
I tell you what, I need to get with you guys and talk to you about something that my oldest one brought to my attention. I think it was Friday. Because he came over, he got a half day off. His uncle was in Chicago and stuff. But, there is you may have it or you may not, but if you use Google Chrome, there is Gemini Nano.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
It uses 4 gigs of your freaking hard drive without your consent.
I have
And,
mine completely turned off.
And I went in there and he showed me through where to delete the file. Of course, you gotta first of all, you've got to uninstall Chrome, because if you got Chrome installed, you delete this file, it will put it right back.
Gotta love
But
those.
I took it out. I had it because I downloaded Chrome a couple weeks ago. Haven't used Chrome in several years now. I use Brave, and I figured my workaround for Brave and Twitch, by the way. Ha ha ha.
So basically, the AI deal, it's in your settings where it helps me, whatever. Mine's completely turned off. It doesn't
But
have
see-
access to the language or my browser history.
Yeah, but if you're using Chrome,
Yeah.
okay, you can turn that stuff off, but it doesn't matter. What my understanding is. And I found it. He turned me on to this guy. He's called the Privacy Guy, and it's called.
Is it the one who talks about Microsoft and everything?
You would almost have to, wouldn't you?
The Google's boss of Chrome gaslighting him off on Nano Push. Is this the one? Let's see if this is the one I'm after. No, This one here. Google Chrome silently installs a 4 gigabyte AI model on your device without consent. At a billion device scale, climate costs are insane. And it's about downloading a 4 gigabyte Gemini Nano model. And what you got to do, if you want to look and see if you got it, you got to go into, was it Opt Guide on Device Model? But it's a folder called weights.bin.
Is this on a YouTube video?
Oh, here, let me
Just forward
Just
it to
do
me
this.
so I can look. Because every time I do an update to my computer, I have to basically go in manually and turn everything off, turn it back on.
I'm gonna message you right now. See if I can paste. Now this, I don't know if it'll take you to the page. There, this. What did I do? That'll take you to that page, but that is a page from other stuff he's talked about. But that's the one I'm talking about right there. If you open that up, and it'll tell you where to look. And I had it. I had that weights.bin and it was 4 gig.
Hey, crazy.
So, but the only way you can get rid of that is you have to uninstall Chrome, because Chrome will put it back on you. That's in the directory called Opt Guide on Device Model. And then you look in there for that weight.bin. And if you got it, I mean, if you're something you're using and you're okay with it, that's fine. Don't do anything with it. That's taking up 4 gigs of your hard drive.
Yeah, I'm sitting here reading through it now, so I need to go in my documents, blah, blah, blah.
So
Whoa.
just what in the hell is going on? Hang on.
Oh, this was May 4th when it came out.
Who is that?
Huh?
I don't know. It's just
a week ago.
I'm about ready to get with our edition association, see if we can put in some no soliciting signs, because these people are getting ridiculous. I'll be right back.
Just catch a train coming down the hill. What's up, Crazy? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything's going good up your neck of the woods. Hey, Crazy, this place isn't too far from you. This is a horseshoe curve down in Pennsylvania. Not real far from you. A day trip for you. If you like to watch trains. Oh, look at that, a meetup. And one coming up the hill as well. And that looks just like a light power move. Oh, no, nope, nope. Another intermodal. It's one of the coolest places I've ever been to watch trains.
It wasn't really a soliciting. It was about, there's a group, well, good cause too. I mean, they're wanting to put a quarry out here, out by us, not by it, right by us, but close to us out here. The people are not wanting. I want to put it right by a school, a couple housing additions that's already out there, and they're already in plans for other housing additions to go out there. And I don't think people want dynamite going off every Wednesday.
Aww.
You know, we already got a large quarry, limestone quarry, one of the largest in the world.
Why would they
Here.
want dynamite going off day, night, and every day?
Well, they don't. That's what the people are protesting. This company is trying to get the rights to put one in.
Isn't that one
It's
of
like-
the largest ones ever, like you were saying, over on like far south side of Chicago?
Excuse me. All right, Bart. No, we've got one. We got one out there off of. It's Smith Road and around Elmhurst. Well, it used to be an Elmhurst High School, and they tore that down here a couple years ago. But it's out there. It's the southwest of, close to Waynedale. Waynedale's the south
Mm-hmm.
suburb, or basically a town, the south of Fort Wayne. But yeah, it's the largest quarry. They got a observation. It's pretty cool. It's been there for years.
Is there a highway that
thing's
goes
got-
through it?
No,
Okay.
not this one.
Yeah, the one I'm thinking of has a highway that goes darn near right through the middle of it, to where it's like a causeway that goes across the center of it.
So what else I just found out? It's also on your phone too.
Yeah, it's on Apple devices. I think Linux is even. It's Google Chrome. Because my
Well,
oldest one does. He's doing Linux now. He
Well,
does.
And
me,
I'll
for
tell you
example,
why
I-
they're doing it. If you want to know why they're doing it,
Sure.
because it saves them money. Okay. AI has to be taught. Okay. And rather than pay somebody to sit down and teach the AI, what they do is they put it into your operating system so that everything that you're doing teaches the AI. Ever wonder about those times where prove you're not a robot? Click on every square that has a motorcycle in it. Click in every square that has a traffic light in it. What you're doing is teaching the AI what a traffic light looks like. You're teaching the AI what a motorcycle looks like. When you go on Google Earth, they're watching you, so that you're giving them absolute pictures of everything from street view, from satellite view, and they use that to teach the AI. I'll almost guarantee you it's along that same line, where it's going to watch what you do and use it to teach AI.
Yeah,
And
my
that way they can
oldest
do it
one-
without having to spend any money on it.
Yeah, my oldest one's going through that with his company.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the bench right now because he didn't start his next project till next week. And that's what they're having him do, is basically programming AI and getting efficient at it and see how fast they can do it. I said, okay, that's fine and dandy, but are they teaching you how to actually get into it and make sure the AI and training your AI that this is good, this is bad, the code's bad, this isn't good, this is a breach, which
Right.
is the most important thing. He says, no. He says, I said, you got to be kidding me. He says, yeah. He says, that's what's being me off about. Our company is getting sucked into this. And they're not watching, dotting their I's, crossing their T's, these companies. They're just in a race to see who can do it the fastest.
Right.
Because that's what the internet society is creaming
Well,
for.
remember
Well-
how many years ago did Elon say that AI frightens him more than war does? Because it can be more detrimental to us than any of that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean,
And
you hate to say
and
it,
if we
but,
don't-
yeah.
if we as humans control AI and keep it at bay and be the boss of the AI, it's going to really screw it up. If we
Mhm.
start relying on it too much, you're going to have security issues.
Yep, we lose track of it, and all that science fiction becomes science fact.
And you'll get it.
Immediate.
I'll be back.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Exactly. You
But
never
I
know.
put a link in your Discord thinker with that
Cool.
if you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Quarry, it's by
I'll
it's one of the
almost
largest
bet
quarries
you.
in the world.
I'll bet you. Oh yeah, I was gonna say I saw it was either a video short or something about it, and I think it had something to do with the bridge, and it might have been a video concerning, like, there's an airport that has a highway that runs right through the middle of it.
We're getting close to that. That could be happening here if they keep getting
Yeah.
that bigger and bigger.
We did
'Cause
that
where
here.
it's at now, the new expansion used to be houses,
Mm-hmm.
farms back there in the woods.
They did that here. To where now you drive up Lindbergh and you go through a tunnel that goes underneath the runway. And they've done it in a bunch of cities. And I think that was one of them where they talked about this landfill. And I'm pretty sure it's on the south side of Chicago. And I went looking for it in Google Earth. And sure as hell, there it is. Great big square thing. And the highway runs right through, like, if you look at it top to bottom in thirds, the top 1/3, it goes right across, bifurcates it right there. It's really pretty wild. And I mean, it's enormous. I don't know if it's still active. And they use it as a runoff. When the water comes up, like in the Illinois River, I think it is, it runs through Chicago. They use that quarry as like a holding pen.
If I had, as a resident of this area all my life, if you're ever in Fort Wayne, that is, to me, right there, is probably the number one thing I would consider as a someplace must go to and see.
A must see.
There's an actual walkout metal pier like thing
Yeah.
at the top. It's a little parking area there. We used to hang out there when we were kids, make out there when our girlfriends and stuff at night, until we got caught one night. Because there's a curfew, you got to be out there by 11. Anyways, I'll get into that. But anyways, you walk out there and you look down, and you know those huge, the biggest dump trucks they've got, those big things that, it's like three stories high or 2 stories
Yeah,
high.
the monster T-Rexes.
Those things look like ants when you're looking down there.
Wow.
They look like ants. That's how deep that quarry is. Pictures don't do it justice. You have to really see it. But you'll see how big it is. But when you're with the one picture, if they show you that off to the right, that, and you can kind of see where, if you look at it close enough and know the place, you know where the last 20 years they've been expanding out to the right.
Yeah.
And it goes almost over to Smith Road. It's called Smith Road. It's almost touching Smith Road.
Wild.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
We're gonna look for somebody here. Let's see if anybody we can raid. I don't see anybody. Maybe we'll just call it at that. Righto. Alrighty, everybody. It has been a good one. I do. Thanks, Cabrazy, for coming by. That was really good of you. KS, thanks for the raid. Definitely appreciate it. Bled, always a pleasure, sir.
Always
good
a pleasure.
seeing everybody in there. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. We'll be driving. Have some more fun.
I sent you something, Blood.
Okay.
And we'll see where it goes from there. So until then, right? Peace. Have fun. Don't die.